Welcome back, you guys. So today we are going to do the second coat on corners and see how many spiders we can mash into the corners forevermore. No, I like to move them usually. But yeah, we're going to do the second coat on corners. And the reason I say the second coat, even though it's the first, is properly taped corner gets a nice coat of mud over top of it on the first pass. So it is actually the second coat over top of tape. Some parts you can see the tape's floated out and is showing a bit. It's not going to be a big deal. It's all going to get covered. And we're going to be using the tube to put the mud on. And we're going to be using a 3.5-inch angle head, Columbia angle head, to do the finishing. I am falling in love with these things. They do such a good job. The learning curve is a little bit steeper than a flusher. So this is a tin flusher. Now the difference here is this is going to run you around $100, give or take. And this is like $350, give or take. It might even be like $350 USD. I'm not sure exactly because I'm a YouTuber. I get these things for free. Like I never would have actually bought these, even though I always wanted to know how good they are. I would say the main difference is these take way less pushes, like one push and you're usually done, whereas sometimes you have to pass over it a few times with these. These are forgiving to having multiple passes, whereas these ones will start to rip the tape or dig into the wall. They'll do stuff, right? They're more aggressive, but they do such a good job when you have the mud dialed in right. The other thing is they've got these blades here, right? These carbide blades. If you run these over a screw, you could chip a blade. That's an annoying, expensive mistake. The blades can be replaced, but it's just annoying. And also crud can get trapped in here. Like if I run it along the edge of a piece of board that doesn't stretch out the full width of the thing, it'll catch chunks and leave drags. Whereas this is more forgiving for getting little chunks in the mud. Like it'll kind of compress it instead of just drag it. So there's some of the nuances of these two tools. Sorry, I know we haven't gotten into politics or anything yet like we did in the last corner video. I don't feel like I really need to. All those videos last week were like cathartic for me. I feel like I don't have anything to say. One thing I wanted to show you guys was just how runny you have the mud. I have no idea how much water I have added into this. I just keep pouring it and pouring it in until after you mix it, it does this. Didn't do it. Usually there's a big explosion. Let's add a tiny bit of water. This is annoying. It's not doing what I want it to do. It's not going to hurt if I add more water. Well, that was pathetic. So usually what happens is there's like this big, huge, like mushroom, not a mushroom cloud of mud because it doesn't come out of the bucket, but it just goes like this big wave underneath, a little tsunami of mud. You can see how thin it is. It's just dripping off of there. Very messy, very runny. But if you don't have it, like you could not coat with this by hand easily without making a massive mess. But it has to be like that for these tools to operate properly. So we've got the tube. Get that spider out of there. Get out of here. The corners aren't safe. It's not a safe space. It's really hard to leave exactly the right amount of mud. I err on the side of adding too much mud rather than too little. Even though too much, bucket. Too much mud is a little bit messy, but it's better than not enough. It's easier to clean up too much mud than it is to go around adding more mud after because you didn't add enough. Having it so thin makes it easy to operate this thing. There are tools, like a corner box, throttle box, they've got some names, that will do this and the mud at the same time. And they do a beautiful job. Never use, I don't need to do little ones like that. Anything this short is more mess and time than it's worth, but this is short enough that or long enough that I'll mess around with it. Okay, usually helps, just like in the last video. I think I showed that this thing should be a little bit full, but with how much mud I've added, probably didn't need to do that. So this ball should be at 45, or this part. That's why it's got this shape, to make it easy to put at 45 degrees. And then, so that's what it looks like when you don't have enough mud. We're gonna run from the bottom up and grab a bit of this. There'll be enough mud here to grab from. I actually usually run top down. Oh, nope. First one on camera, of course. It's got to give me problems, so whatever. We'll just go with it. I just already warmed up and did a bunch of rooms, no problem. So that this wouldn't happen. But here we are, right? Not enough, not enough. I'm just gonna go with it instead of wasting time fixing it. That's better. That little spill out on the edge is no big deal. What's going on here? Okay, well, we have a butt joint up here that's probably making it uneven. I swear. Okay, there we go. That's more like it. And I'll often drop the extra mud in the corner, so I come back and clean it up usually. Something is not behaving as it was 20 minutes ago. So you might be like, what a mess. Yeah, it is. That's what it is. Maybe one of these days I'll try the actual angle box. I won't be cleaning the floor yet, but there's the wall. So this is too annoying to fix right now. I'm going to wait for it to be dry and I'll just side swipe. Like, it's really easy. It's just these corners. I have already done the left-hand side. If you've watched any of my corner videos, you'll know how I do these. So I'm doing the right-hand side on each one as I clean it out. Tune it up. So it's easier for the trim carpenters to do the baseboard. And you can fix those if you want, but they also honestly sand really easy. Blobs, I will sometimes try and get in there really gently. So like, yeah, this is annoying. It shouldn't be doing that. It's behind cabinets. I could literally ignore it though. I'm gonna take my own advice. Behind the cabinets. This one is not probably going to be behind a cabinet. So I don't claim to be the absolute master of these tools. I feel like I'm always still figuring it out and getting better at it, but I still get good results way faster than by hand. Like, I would quit drywall if I had to give up corner tools. No way I would ever go back to doing big jobs. This is a mess. What a mess. I'm gonna I've forgotten to coat this butt, so I'll not even worry about that top edge yet. I try to keep my liftoffs within the area that I've already coated the three-way, went a little out. I might come back and do a little more work on these corners, on the three-ways. They're not totally done yet. But basically, if the corner's pretty full, it's better to clean up a little mess on the wall. It takes less time than it does to come back and fill in all those bits that didn't get filled in. We're just making sure that nothing is built up for when I come back and coat these outside corners. Maybe a corner box should be the next tool that I purchase. Wait, I already told you I don't purchase the tools. Hey Columbia, let's do a little better on the corners here. I've heard the corner box is a major workout though. Like you really got to put your back into it. And this is pretty easy, pretty light work. I don't like all that crud in the corner. I'll try and just smooth it out a little. Good, so there's one room. Let's see if we have better luck in the next room. Let's do this big wide open one. So, I thought of something. We just had May long weekend, which is also known as Victoria Day, because here in Canada, we still celebrate Her Majesty Queen Victoria's birthday. And that means I had 3 days off, all in a row. It was nice. And my wife was away with my daughter at a soccer tournament, and my son was away most of the weekend. And that left me with my teenager and my youngest for basically the whole weekend. So it was pretty light work. I paid somebody to do some yard work for once, so I didn't have to do any of that over the weekend. And what that resulted in is getting to spend a lot of time with my daughter that I don't like, I was there when she needed food. I was making it for her. When she needed some attention, I was able to give it to her. Even though I had posted a video on the skateboard channel, I wasn't getting sucked into checking the comments all the time. And that was really nice. And the weekend reminded me of when I had little kids. That's what it reminded me of. Because I wasn't getting sucked into my phone all the time, and I had a little more time and energy to put into my daughter, into her well-being. And I remember when my other kids were little, before I had the channels, I feel like I was more present. And it was really nice. That was a beautifully messy one. But it's also a beautifully coated corner. So I'll take it as a win. We'll clean this up in a bit after I step in most of it. So I definitely had a hair too much mud, but the end result is nicer. Sometimes I'll just do that. I had a great weekend. And she had, so there was one point where she had some friends over. There's some neighborhood kids that come over. It's nice. They still get that experience to go to somebody's house that lives close by or have them over. Like, that's the way I grew up. I grew up in a neighborhood where you knew everybody on the block. And you'd go to their houses, and when you got tired of hanging out with one kid, you'd hang out with somebody else. But anyways, basically what we had was a troop of girls about the same age, you know, young, primary school. And then one of them had a young, really young sister, like 4-year-old sister. And they played pretty well for a while. I am going to fix this because that's so ugly. They played quite well for a while, but then eventually the bigger girls all wanted some time away from the little girl, and I could see them starting to run away from her all the time, just like always trying to exclude her. And they'd be playing in one area, and then they'd move to another area, and I could see the 4-year-old just chasing them all over the place. And eventually what I did, I just took some time. We had a bunch of little pieces of gravel. I gave the 4-year-old a little hammer, and she did. I didn't even have to do any of it, because she was strong enough to just keep chipping these rocks apart, and we'd look inside, see what color they were. I haven't done anything like that in a long time because, like I said, my kids are older. And it was nice just to connect in that way. Again, it's been a long time since I've actually, I think I have a tendency to ignore the little kids in social situations these days because I'm like, my kids are older. I've done my time with the little kids. But this time I did. I took that time to just share a fun little activity with her. And that was exactly what was needed. So after that, the big girls had their space. They had their space, and then they let her back in. So she got some time to be away from them. They recharged, and then the situation just sorted itself out. Because before that, what I kept trying to do was shaming my daughter into allowing her to play with them. I'm like, you're the littlest. You know exactly what this feels like. Remember when you get excluded? It didn't matter how many times I said that. She couldn't hear it. She just wanted her space with the big kids, and she wanted the little girl to go away. And yeah. My attempts at shaming her were negligible. I guess sometimes kids do know what they need. We just don't listen. Anyways, let's do one more room. That was my weekend though. Really low key. And I'm not trying to claim like being a hero here, right? Like I mentioned, a lot of the time I'm stuck on my phone, or I'm just really concerned with all my plans and activities. But it was so nice to have the time and freedom and be in the right headspace to provide a nice area for the kids to just be themselves. You know, they were never on screens the whole time. They were playing outside almost the whole time. It was just like one of those rare moments where you can see that we're really kind of in their natural element. And wow! Somebody's out of his natural element. You see that guy? All right, seriously, get out of here. All right, that works. Go in the spotlight. Where'd he go? Is he on the floor now? Where'd he go? Oh, hi. It was just nice. It felt like kind of old-fashioned in the best way. It really filled me up. And I guess that's why I'm talking about it. And I can't guarantee that every weekend's going to be like that. I get pretty absorbed with my own things a lot. But yeah. Hopefully I can remember how good it felt to actually pay attention to the little ones for once. Anyways, sorry I didn't get political in this one. Life's short. Getting political is a nasty distraction. So this one, for example, is too narrow. If I run the flusher down here, or the angle head, it's going to get all full of these nasty fuzzies, if it even works properly. And then when I do the next pass, there'll be streaks in it. So that's why we're not going to do that. Okay. Not enough. Yeah, the first pass is often like that after you take it out of the bucket. This one won't be. Look at that. That's going to be all down the wall. How was your weekend, Nick?
It worked.
You worked. Aw. Sometimes you can't avoid it. If I keep spending all my time talking and having lazy mornings like today, I'll be working next weekend to get this one done for you. Man, it leaves such a square, crisp corner. The feathering on those edges is just like so much better than the flushers. I love these. Even if I am making a tremendous mess, I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that, Nick?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, man. Come on, one more. Could this one get better? I feel like it could. Yeah. Doesn't leave as much mud, though. You really take a lot more out on the second pass. Doesn't do so well in areas that are built up like corner beads and butt joints. All right, we'll clean it up and then we'll wrap up this video. I felt like the camera just touched my head there. This will all get fixed when I coat that butt joint. And for all these ones by the doors and stuff, I have to come back and coat them one side at a time by hand. Oh, I was trying to move real smooth there, but it didn't work. I put one corner in and then I rest it, but I'm not actually resting the bottom part. I'm bending it. What should we talk about in our next video? I don't know either. It's gonna be flat boxes again, which might be regrettable. You know, whenever I'm using a tool that I'm not experienced with and then posting it on the internet, it feels like those dreams. Like, you know, they talk about like, oh, the naked in school dreams. I was like, oh, I don't have those. And I was like, wait, yeah, I do. But it's not that I'm fully naked in school usually. The dream is usually that I'm like sitting at a desk and I don't have pants on. Like no pants and underwear on. And if I get up from the desk, everyone's gonna know. And that's totally like, I believe the root of those dreams is just like, it's insecurities, right? It's about feeling like an imposter and being found out. Whoops. I don't think I could fix that. Not really. So like when I use the flat boxes and film a video, it basically feels exactly the same as those dreams. Tell me in the comments about your school dreams. Keep it clean. Oh, we missed one here, whatever. Too late. Oh, I wrecked that one. There we go. That looks good enough. No, I didn't do this side. Didn't do that. Yeah, using tools does not exclude you from handwork. In fact, I feel like you actually have to get pretty good at handwork to learn how to tie in with all the wet on wet material. This is the one we started on. It looks nasty. Oh yeah, butt joints. It'll be fixed. Okay, so that is the end of the video. Where are you gonna go? You're gonna get bigger, aren't you? This guy's just about half the size that they get to. It's just a little guy. My daughter freaks out at spiders. I don't really have a problem with them. I wouldn't want it crawling on me like it just did. It just fell on me. Where is it? Is it in my hoodie? I mean, so as you see, I don't have a major problem with them, but I don't literally want them crawling on me. I hope you guys are doing really well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.